On today's Minute of the Apes, I promise I won't blast my wife in the face with fist smoke.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd.
I'm still giggling.
No, you may not speak yet. Sitting across from me, being civil, is Richard. How are you this morning, Richard?
Fine.
And to my left, this introduction must be done. He is reduced to a child's level of giggling by silly internet videos that he has to show Richard on. The first one being some dude that chugged seltzer water and couldn't burp.
Will you still love me if I throw up?
And then some other guy who's built some pneumatic
Fist robot
thing that he puts on and he can break, plates and all that and can lift things he never could, and it all pays off in the end with expelling the gases
CO2,
out into his woman.
Face.
I don't know if it's wife or the woman in his
whatever.
But Sean, and this has been true as long as I've known you, that when something gets you, you're fucking done.
I'm done. I'm over.
And he'll send me things, and I'm like, I'll tell him often, that's not that funny to me. Watching you lose your shit's funny to me.
Did you see the trailer for the R-rated trailer for Burt Kreischer's The Machine?
No.
Mark Hamill's in it. You're gonna want to see it.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to show you in between minutes.
Okay.
You'll like it.
That is truly, I think, where the idea of us doing in-betweens comes from. Now, I'm going to be fair. And Richard actually had a tease that was going to lead into this minute. Richard, do you want to do your tease for this minute?
Sure.
Go ahead.
On today's Minute of the Apes, the cast finally discovers 75 minutes into it what we've known all along. The writers, the directors, the editor, they were never here.
Okay, we won't really do that. I couldn't resist that. So I say often, Richard is by far of the three of us the most on point. And that was the original idea when I said to everybody, who keeps messaging me? And I'm working, people.
Hey, your computer hasn't gone ding yet, so
No,
we're
it
not.
did. You were not.
You weren't here,
Ah.
and we found it. Richard was right all along. It was some
right.
kind of screen usage alert, and I've
Gotcha.
turned it off.
Gotcha.
Ooh, Lucy.
But did she tune again?
She crop dusting you guys.
She's laying right. Her ass is literally pointed right at me and right near Richard. But the whole concept of on today's Minute of the Apes was to tease the minute, and I should have known before suggesting that. My friend of probably near 30 years was going to turn it into burps, farts, whatever jokes. Where Richard, again, I applaud you, my friend. You were so damn good about it. Anyway, that is enough. That was his own in-betweens. So let's get going. We're at minute 73. Let's see if this one can be any better than the last one. Sean, tell us what's going on.
All right, we're going to start minute 73 with wreckage in the sand and end with Davidson doing some light dusting of a skull.
Oh, light dusting. Well,
dusting.
Lucy's doing some dusting then there
That's right.
too. All right, minute 73, Lucy dusting Planet of the Apes.
You're not here. You were never here.
You said they'd come for us.
Hazmat 73, we have an Oberon's worth of ape and humans, 2 displaced pods worth of humans and apes, wild monkeys, wild humans, ape city, -2 gorillas, humans on the loose, and monkeys on the march.
All right, this minute, there's a lot visually happening, and I'll try to keep this very succinct. We're outside of the structure. Everyone gets off their horses. Leo walks forward and begins what we all immediately joked as we're watching the minute.
Right,
It begins right in there.
Lord.
10 seconds in, as everyone follows him, he's looking. I swear these insert shots of the tricorder were done way later because they don't even have the same lighting. And so we get him looking up. He looks at the tricorder, and suddenly then when we go to the next shot, he's almost outside the structure in a very different vantage. He's looking away from it because a spire that was behind him more is now to the side, and there's suddenly sunlight all over his face. He walks into the structure. Everyone follows. We stay outside for a second. We actually linger on a shot, which is nice. We walk into the structure, and we begin to see, I guess, which look like steel girders of some sort, and a lot of sand has blown in over the years. I'm fine with that. That looks great. We look around at the tricorder trying to find out. We get a contact alert. And he looks, he doesn't know what's going on. As Estella says, I thought they were coming for us. Leo looks around at his tricorder. She wants to know what the F's going on before he happens to, in this huge frickin' spaceship thingy on the ground or whatever it might be, find a skull. He just happens to see that one element. There's no beam of light. It's not even Indiana Jones getting the beam of light that tells him where to go. He just finds it because he's fucking Leo. And that's it. He reaches for the skull. I'm going to toss the thing out that drove me nuts watching this, and I had to watch this minute, and I'm not kidding you, like 5 or 6 times because I couldn't get over the awful lighting in this scene. That moment when he's outside, there is no motivation of light moving to suddenly blast him on his face. He is in shadow. He's facing one way, looks at something, he cuts back. He is facing in not only an entirely different way, the sun has moved in and is blasting on his face. Then when they go inside this vessel, there are pools of light going in through the broken structure.
Unmotivated light source.
And it's like, okay, so the first shot when they walk in, the light is coming down from behind because we get silhouettes. We go in. That same light is not behaving the same way. It's going straight down. And whenever they walk, he runs through a pool of light at 33 seconds and standing in it. And no one else interacts with the pool of light. No one. Oh my God, this is so flatly lit and so shitty. I can barely take this visually. It may be my least favorite minute of the whole movie. That's it.
I love how this is just
It drove
not
me.
even anything I was paying attention to at all. But yeah,
It
sure.
fucking drove me insane.
Make it more atmospheric. Make it
Yeah.
darker in there, so they're a little more scared going in there because they're big, deep pools of shadows and stuff like that, and you don't know what's going to come out there. So
Exactly.
there's the possibility of humans maybe being in here because you can't see everywhere. Where in this case, you can see from ass to nose. I mean,
I think of, and it's not as what you were just suggesting with Pools of Darkness, but going back to the Indiana Jones thing when he does the staff of whatever, I forget.
Ra.
Shelley was just watching last night. Why can't I remember that?
Ra.
That he goes into that area and there's a beam of light behind him. And now you can see most things, but there are differences from what he's doing, and he must project that light to where it's going to go. And it's almost as though that thing illuminates and tells us everything we need to know. Give me some of that. Let the people interact and be accurate, because it goes to Leo. And why, if he's just run through that pool of light, why does he have no backlight? It is just the most boring, flat thing. There's no mystery to this. Yuck. Fucking yuck. Okay. Anybody? Did I just blast the scene apart and that's it?
we got you.
All right, we'll talk to everybody tomorrow.
All right. So we start outside of it. Leo
You
looking
start
at his
out
tricorder.
with the you get some more Marky Mark breathing exercises at the beginning there.
The little we keep calling it tricorder. The little communication, the little device lets us know that they've arrived. That's the only way we legitimately know this is where he's supposed to go.
It says contact.
Because he opens the device, not because they've said anything to let us know that this is it. It's his device letting him know, which probably should have happened before he got there. Like, it would have been nice to actually have that.
It's funny you say that.
That acknowledgement when they come across the structure. This is it.
If he had seen that
Then
on the
he-
horizon,
yeah.
and it's like they're riding up on the horses, and if he sees it and he sees that,
Like,
and
he
begins to see some worry in his
the
face.
previous
Right,
minute.
right.
He should be excited or upset.
Worried,
or, yeah.
like, oh my God, this can't
It
be.
can't be it.
Okay,
Correct.
If you'd been, I'm going to say it. I'm the one that I have no problem looking in the future. If you're the one that has been on a spaceship and you see the wreckage of the
You
spaceship,
kinda would know.
wouldn't you kind of know?
Wouldn't
Yeah.
you be at least somewhat like you would already? Yeah, you know something. You would recognize some element of it.
And there's something about that building dread. Okay, that Richard wanted like a steel girder or something that you crumbled up, waste.
Right.
Because if this crashed, it wouldn't just go boom.
One piece, yeah,
It would
one
fall
piece, yeah,
apart and
it'd be
everything.
strewn over miles. Yeah.
That creates dread because we see if Mark
Yeah.
can pull it off, it creates that dread of, oh my God, I'm never getting off this fucking place.
I mean, think of it this way. Both times we've had a space shuttle blow up on Earth, a space shuttle is not the size of
This massive thing.
space station,
Right.
and that debris was over miles and miles.
So there's some dialogue in the next minute that probably should have been in this minute, which would have been no, 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 no. That would have been
True.
Him getting the reader saying that he's right. Contact. We now know what this weird structure is, and him going no, 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 no. The thing is, I was talking with Sean when we were driving up here. There's nothing surprising about this reveal.
Nothing.
There's nothing. This feels like it's not surprising. It's not surprising. Sorry,
No.
there was nothing unique about we knew this is where he was going to go. We know this was going to end up. It would have been fascinating if it were something different.
True. So we get to there and they walk up to it. He looks at his tricorder, the weird unmotivated sun that wasn't there before. And again, God, then it cuts to a shot at 21 seconds where all the shit's back and there's no sun
It's all
coming through whatsoever. So
overcast
where the
again.
fuck did all that come from?
Well, they go from dusty environment to non-dusty environment as well.
Now, the one thing I do like is that the spaceship's laying here and that, how many years has it been here? It's obviously been there.
Thousands, yeah.
And so, yes, sand would blow through the open things. And so I think that's a kind of cool look when you do the shot at 31, and is that Leo screaming hello at that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's the other
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
It's the other dude who says
That nobody's here.
They're not here. They were never here.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if-
How does he even know that?
Hello? That.
I'm going to give a warning to all people who may run into wrecked spaceship footage, wreckage.
Debris.
If it looks like this, no one's there.
By the way,
Hello. No, it's just it's so silly. And I
To
feel
think
like
that somebody might. Well, again, if it was darker, if you could not see
That's a good point.
everything else, then you're calling out a hello because maybe there is somebody.
maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and all you find out is that sunlight reflecting
through,
off
yeah.
something. There's hope, but he either needs to have the hope that he's running and he thinks that's where they are until he's crushed, or he needs to be going no, 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 and know what it is, and they're all like, what is it?
right?
He needs to be the one. He doesn't need to see a fucking skull. And why is he the one that finds it? Why didn't somebody else find that skull?
And that actually would be more interesting if somebody else had found the skull. But he's got the device. The device says contact.
Contact. Yeah.
How
What
does
is it contacted?
How does this gunner dude just happen to know they're not here? They were never here. Like he hasn't even admitted that they've arrived.
Where they need to be, yeah.
He hasn't even, his device is just beeping at him. He hasn't said anything to let them know that this is where he's supposed to go. They're just making these assumptions.
And one thing that I find disappointing for a Tim Burton movie is that we all know where this is going. This is going to be the genesis of everything.
Right.
Why didn't the Ape City bear some resemblance to the structure of this thing? Like, with some of the spires being like this. If they knew it was out there and whatnot, and by that way, that's the build plate for my 3D printer.
Nah,
so.
I gotcha. I've just been fiddling with it over here.
So why didn't this create why didn't it evoke something in them, their art and their creation? And then that would have this weird symmetry and haunting nature to it. But there's nothing. If this is supposed to almost be religious sacred ground for them.
Well, and that's
There's
what they haven't really established.
Would it have
Why-
been tricked out? Well, yeah, exactly. Should there be some type of other worldly monuments here to let us know that this is a sacred area that can no longer be visited? And there's nothing in here that would ruin you of knowledge.
In our previous movie, we had a forbidden zone, and in that forbidden zone, there was artifacts from our human ancestry, the dolls, the watch, and that kind of stuff. So that's why they were keeping them away, because we didn't want people to know that humans at one point were the superior race, and hell, that can't be. Apes were always. But in this one, there's no reason to keep people away from here. There's nothing here that gives you any indication of anything.
Right.
except for it's some big wreckage out here.
Right, and
it's not radioactive.
I can see how
the idea of that kind of beneath element of this chaotic nature that has erupted to keep you from going into an area like the city made sense. There's nothing here.
Yeah, there's nothing here that somebody would gain. There's no forbidden knowledge here that an ape can come across that will upend their society.
True.
I could see how the use of metal and building girders and things like that might teach them a technology that they don't know and they could aspire to. Now, they wouldn't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. They would know somebody could. And I could almost see a weird, 2001 kind of like with the monolith type structure. Geez, I didn't think with the apes in that too, but them looking at it in awe because they don't have it. I can imagine that happen at some point. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't translate to the world that we see.
No.
You know what would have been more fascinating if one of the reasons why this area is off limits is that some of the humans did survive and some of the apes evolved, and 100 years later there was some type of fight that actually caused this structure or to crumble, like as if some imagined conflict had happened. That apes finally overcame the humans, and that's why this area is forbidden, because it would reveal all that.
If you saw caveman paintings inside here where you saw humans and apes working together, and then you saw the division, and that apes rose up and conquered man, and we can't have that knowledge get out to everybody. But no, it's just a big hole. It's a big cave.
I do want to toss in. She says, Dana says, "You said they'd come for us." Wait a minute. No. He didn't.
Yeah,
I was going to say, did he?
First of all, yeah, I said I never said they'd come for us. First of all, you've been with me the whole time.
I said my people are going to come get me.
Yeah,
I didn't say anything about you.
Yeah,
I'm making this shit up as I go along.
You're really good looking, but I got hotter things back home. No,
you said they'd come for us. I didn't
say that.
I didn't say that.
I feel so bad for Estella Warren too, because she got such bad press out of this movie with people not liking her, that she's a very lovely person and she's doing fine with what she's given. It's just what she is given is so colossally stupid.
Honestly, the character is really just one-dimensional, doesn't have any dialogue, doesn't have any...
Is she even one-dimensional?
Well,
half-dimensional.
Half-dimensional. I mean, it's sad because, it is. She was meant to be one of the stars of this film, and she is one of the stars of the film, but she's not... She's nothing to do, nothing to say, no contribution other than just looking around awkwardly at him.
It's the problem with having the humans being intelligent is that they should be more intelligent. They should be speaking more. They should, at least, and the old ones, that's why they were following Taylor, because this is a human that they've never seen do this before. Right. But how is he any different except for he's got a magic gun, he's got if they had the same technology they'd be exactly like him. There's no difference between them.
If they were really trying to play up the idea of this relation with Nova and this idea of a woman in a bikini, kind of a sex symbol style, they're not shooting her in such a way to make that flattering for her. She's just running around. Other than the fact that she's not dirty.
Yeah,
like they
didn't put her in a bikini.
Or they did some shots that just made her look statuesque and made her look. She's just a character, an actor on the set in an outfit. There's nothing really. They're not doing anything to make her play her up in that way.
Right.
Other than the fact that her hair looks good.
Well, okay, but Nova kind of even had a little body oil on her to make her glisten and to look those things. I get it. I get why you want to put pretty people in films.
But Nova was also interacting with Taylor, and she's not interacting with Leo in such a way to kind of play any type of
and she had such a beautiful, sweet naivete about
and then
the way she portrayed
it. She gets a little bit of an arc in that fact she learns to speak a little bit. And, maybe these humans can be brought up to a higher status because, look, she's already learning to say Taylor. Well, in this one, everybody speaks. Everybody's got their clothes,
I think
everybody shaves.
I think letting the humans speak in this
was wrong. Yeah.
Idea.
Well, yeah, I think that may be the genesis point of where this movie goes astray, because there's no real split of what makes. What is the tension between these two parties that Leo somehow is in the middle of? There's nothing. It doesn't explain itself.
And there's honestly no reason for this giant crew that he's bringing with him. Like, there's no point with all of them being there. We didn't need all of these people to be there.
And it feels like if the humans got their shit together, they could have risen up and gotten away or overthrown the ape society. And the only reason they can't is because the apes are physically stronger than them.
If you wanted more tension between Dana and Ari in terms of their relation to Leo, then get rid of half of the crew. It should just be Ari and Dana and Leo and maybe Krull because he's the ape guy, right? You wouldn't need all this stuff.
Well, it's one of those things where they just kept grabbing people as they left. It's
I know, and
all right,
horses.
Leo's going, and then Estelle comes with him, and then some people come out of the cage, and then they grab a kid as they're going, and then they grab Ari, and then it's like...
If it would be a different thing, because it seems like... I'm sorry, what is Estella's name? Dana?
Dana.
They've never said her name
with an
so
extra
far.
E.
So it seems like Dana, within this band of humans, is kind of the leader at the moment.
Yeah.
It would be a different thing if we heard her say, Leo, I want to go with you, but I can't leave without them. I've included them. And then if she were the one talking to them and actually leading them, the humans don't seem to have any connection amongst themselves. Who are they? What are they? What is? Because we've got the house slaves. We've got the field slaves. I guess I don't know what else.
We don't even know if they're from the same tribe.
Yeah,
like, we don't even know if they were.
we're assuming that kid is somehow related to Estella Warren, but we don't know.
And how fucked up is that I just had to use actual slavery terms from our own sad history in this country to try and figure out what they're trying to do to this, and it's awful.
Well, we've come across the giant structure. We now know the structure is
where they're going.
His people. They haven't
got contact,
but they haven't identified it as the Oberon yet. They've only just identified it as wherever his people are. So we're not 100% sure. But it's just
so
predictable.
obvious.
It's predictable.
And there's in the hands, not a better director. He's a great director, but in the hands of a better project and potentially a better actor, this could be a heartbreaking scene.
Right.
For the Leo character, this could be the, oh my God. It's almost like taking the end of the original film and putting it, just beyond halfway through it. And that's an interesting idea. You tell me now I'm stuck on a planet, and that's kind of scary. I like that. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's not that. It's just sort of, we got a skull.
We got a skull. We found the ruby slippers. The witch's feet just shriveled up when he got there because the spaceship landed on her.
Do y'all think it could get any better tomorrow?
If we're gonna knock plot holes in things, no. If we're gonna talk about the next little bit, then yeah, it's an interesting minute.
I'm so torn between naming this "We Got a Skull" or no.
Just no.
Stop.
Stop.
I think that let's just stop. That's the episode. Look, we're going to just stop right now. Wrap this up. We'll be back tomorrow. Everyone, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.